VHS Voyage, where we are on a journey to find, watch, and discuss movies on VHS that we've either never seen or never heard of. I'm Matt.
I'm Devin.
And in today's episode, we're going to watch
Power Play.
All right, folks, today's episode of VHS Voyage, we are going to be discussing Power Play, which was released in
94, I think.
94. So before we get into the discussion, Devin, hit us with some information and facts.
So this is directed by Rocky Lane. Only other movie he did was another TV sports movie called The Homecoming.
Okay.
It was written by four people.
Four people.
Rocky Lane, Michael Sabel, John Shepard, and Anna Waterhouse. They didn't really do anything notable after that, so I'm not going to really go into all the other stuff they did, but it was written by four different people. Only 91 people have reviewed this on IMDb, so this is not like a known movie at all. Would you like to take a guess on IMDb?
It makes sense what you said because, I mean, it was
a TV movie.
Yeah.
It was a TV movie.
Oh, yeah, definitely a TV movie. We've never heard of this movie before. IMDb, if I had to guess, I would say 3.
Well, a little bit higher than that.
4?
Higher.
Higher?
Mm-hmm.
5?
4.9.
4.9, okay.
Yeah. So,
how has this movie got the same rating as Bingo? Anyways, continue.
No Rotten Tomatoes information, so it's not even eligible. It didn't meet the eligible.
So this one is
requirement.
really obscure.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. Definitely a TV movie. The two actors, the two leads, one is Marietta Del Prima. She's a TV actor. Really is just like one of those actors that'll like pop up in an episode of a TV show every once in a while.
I feel like I've seen her in something.
Has it? I mean, she's only done like one. The only other movie she's done, the last movie she did, which is actually weird because she's in like all these weird obscure TV shows just being in like one episode, but then she does Lady Bird, which I love Lady Bird. So Lady Bird is amazing. And then Ken Olendant, he was in Leprechaun and Summer School, but he's actually the same thing. He's just a TV actor.
He was in Leprechaun?
He's in the first one, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I should say though, this movie is presented by Billy Graham, which I'm sure most of y'all know who Billy Graham is. He's like the most famous preacher ever.
I actually had never heard of him until you mentioned him.
Yeah, but you're Matt.
That is true. I'm Matt.
Sorry. So yeah, this was like presented by his church and stuff. So this is like a faith-based TV movie for sure. You would see like on the Hallmark Channel or something like that for sure. And he is in the movie too. Billy Graham is in the movie. So
essentially, the story here is Roberta plays a lawyer that works for a hockey team. And I guess the hockey team, they're not pulling in much of an audience. They're not doing that great. So that means business is down and the owners of the team are losing money. So they try to come up with the idea of recruiting a ex-hockey player back to the team named Cody Harris in an effort to bring more excitement to the team because apparently he was a pretty rough player, not like rough like in like fighting a lot and just, typical hockey stuff, right? So their idea is if they can find him and get him back on the team, get him back on contract, that it will bring more audience in and be making the money and get the team back where it needs to be. That pretty much,
yep.
Sum it up. I'm not going to get into my religious beliefs or anything like that. I'm not going to get into any of that, but this is very much a religious movie. Despite whether I agree with the movie or not, despite whether I agree with the religion or not going to get into any of that. I don't like movies that are forcefully preachy like this. And this movie, to me, felt very, very preachy. Like the goal of the movie was to try to convert people to their religion. That's what it felt like to me. And then they just wrapped that around this story. And I don't think that serves a movie well from a filmmaking standpoint or from a writing standpoint.
So when I first saw the Billy Graham thing pop up on the screen, I knew what I was getting at that point because I watched a lot of these as a kid, like with my pop and mama. Like this is the kind of movie like when I would go to their house, like this is like what they were watching. So I don't know. Like once that opened up, I was like, okay, I know what I'm getting here. So my mindset kind of changed on it a little bit.
I didn't know what I was getting into.
So I was like, okay, I get what this movie is going to be. I've seen this 100 times. So it kind of changed my opinion on it a little bit, not like in a bad way. I was just like, okay, I've seen this movie before.
Yeah.
I know what's coming.
I mean, it's your typical kind of made for TV movie acting. You know, you're just gonna get, you know, a lot of people that are probably first starting out in their career, and this is all they can get as far as a gig goes, and you know, good for them. And it's a good way for them to get practice as an actor. So it's kind of that kind of thing is what you would see here.
I kind of want to get into some of the weird editing in this movie.
It did have some weird editing, didn't it?
It had a ton of continuity errors.
Yes.
A ton. There was a scene with an old lady on a bus.
Mm-hmm.
I could be tripping balls, but I swear it was two different old ladies every time they'd switch the camera. I could be tripping. Tons of continuity errors. Sound effects did not line up. Also, there's scenes where there's no sound effects.
Yeah.
There's a scene where a dog jumps on a lady and there's not a single sound of the dog running. The dog does not bark.
Yeah.
The dog does not make a sound. There's a scene of a car driving. The car does not make a noise. The movie is completely silent. The sound editing is awful. I was really confused by it. Also, the movie takes place in Vancouver, Canada. Not a single person has a Canadian accent.
Yeah.
Not a single person at all.
I didn't even hear a single aboot.
I'm cutting that.
I thought some of the scene transitions were also very jarring.
Well, there's a reason for that. So a TV movies, what you were seeing is when they would cut to commercial. And then, but when you put it on VHS, they go together. So it's like, what the hell was that transition? That's why sometimes it would like fade to black, and it's like, and then all of a sudden it's just another scene. It's like that right there is where they were cutting to commercial, but they had to edit them together for the VHS, and it's like this super just jarring all of a sudden change.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense. I can forgive it for that because that makes sense. I saw, you know, cinematography. Bland, but I mean, there were a few camera shots that I thought were just like stuff where you could tell they were trying to be a little creative. Like there was one shot where the camera was behind the hockey net as, you know, the player was coming and hitting the putt in. You know, that's cool. That's different than your typical camera shots. So there were a few shots like that, but I mean, it's a TV movie.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get, you're not going to get cinema level cinematography here. So I don't even remember the score. Did it even have a score?
Well, there was that one weird part where she's in her kitchen.
Oh yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, there was a scene where Roberta was in her kitchen and the music that started playing straight up sounded like porn music.
I thought some kind of like sexual scene was coming at that point.
I did too.
I was like, oh, so something's about to happen here.
Yeah.
But no, it's just the music they picked.
Yeah, because she was like getting wine and she was like changing clothes. I was like, well,
there's fireworks exploding in the background. And I'm not kidding. Yeah.
There was one part that made me kind of laugh a little bit, where she's riding the bus, and I guess the bus breaks down, and the bus driver's out there just fucking going to town on the tires. He's like, and you remember that?
I remember what you just did. Jesus Christ, what the hell was that?
He was making some serious grunts and groans and just like going to town.
I think they just pulled some guy off the street and they were like, just act crazy on camera, and then he was just like, okay, and then just started going nuts on this tire.
Yeah. I don't know what else there is to say about this movie. I mean, I think it's very clear that it's not a keep it.
No, not for me.
It's it's a TV movie. I mean, not to say that there's not good TV movies.
No, and also there's a lot of people that's like their preferred kind of movie. They like kind of like that. So if you like that kind of thing, I would definitely say this is for you. And if you like that, that's okay.
So Devin, tell us, if people want to watch this, where can they find it?
You can watch this on any of the free services. So Tubi, Crackle, any service that's like free ad-based, it's on there. Pretty much all of them.
So we will be giving this one away since it is not a keep it. So if you want to enter that giveaway, go to the Instagram page, which is VHS.Voyage. You will see a post for the giveaway for this with information on how you can enter. That has been today's episode of VHS Voyage on Power Play. I'm Matt.
I'm Devin.
And we'll catch you in the next one.